This story has got some legs because it is ridiculous. This is not a reasonable story. Brought to you by Jason Rantz, Kate 770 KTTH, conservative talk radio in Seattle. I know, oxymoron, kind of like a reasonable real estate guy in Bellevue. Rantz, soft on crime judge Johanna Bender scolds media for critical coverage after sympathizing with murder suspect's mother. Yeah, it's Seattle. It's what we're doing. Here we go. All right, so we got kind of a Looney Tune judge who is just letting people out willy-nilly for crazy shenanigans like murdering people with a kitchen knife. Yeah. A soft on crime Seattle judge, King County Superior Court Judge Johanna Bender, recently lashed out at the media for daring to criticize her reckless decisions. This comes after she offered sympathy, not to the victim's grieving family, but to the family of an accused murderer. That's weird. I thought judges were supposed to, justice, right the wrong. No? Anyway, it's Seattle. Nothing makes sense. If anything, her comments are a reminder that she deserves even more media scrutiny, not less. Jason Rantz, that's why I'm doing a podcast on it. Thanks for writing this article. Renton Police Department and the King County Prosecutor's Office said 20-year-old Kashon Jimerson, I guess you can take my name and put whatever kind of consonant you want in front of it and just let her roll and it's all good. Kashon Jimerson attacked 65-year-old military veteran Michael Gray from behind with a broomstick before fatally stabbing him twice with a kitchen knife. Jimerson claimed self-defense, but surveillance footage showed him to be the aggressor. The first appearance hearing, King County District Court Judge Michelle Gelson set bail at just $50,000 instead of the requested $2 million by King County Prosecutor's Office. The low bail, which Jimerson paid, was widely condemned by the public, media, and the Renton police chief. Why would that be? Because you got a nut job on the loose due to low bail by a sympathetic judge who was just hell-bent on, let's go for some justice reform and let's see how this works out. Days later, Jimerson was formally charged with second-degree murder, and the surveillance footage was presented to the court. King County Prosecutor's Office again asked for $2 million in bail, this time in front of Judge Johanna Bender. She still denied the $2 million in bail, but offered $500,000. But before doing so, she expressed frustration with the media and empathy for the wrong party. Head of the judge's decision, the suspect's mother asked that the media not show her son's face. She said she feared vigilante justice. Hey, you know what? When you whack somebody with a wooden stick and then murder them with a kitchen knife and then admit to said murder, all bets are off. All bets are off. Know what I'm saying? Judge Johanna Bender responded, according to Fox 13's David Rose, who first reported the comments, by noting the surveillance footage was already being circulated, but she is empathetic to the suspect's family because they're dealing with a crisis. Again, I note suspect's family, not the victim's family, not the person who had their family member murdered with a kitchen knife by a killer. No. We got sympathy for the other dude doing the, Friday the 13th to the poor guy. As Rose reported, Bender didn't offer sympathy to Gray's family, the ones actually experiencing a crisis. Unlike Jimerson's mother, Gray's family and friends will never see him again. Let's take a little peek-see. This is the insanity that when you live in a city or a state like Washington State, where we're just hell-bent on emptying out all of our prisons and not really, committed to justice, when we just have this revolving door of, $5 bail, $2 bail for you. Yeah, maybe apologize for raping that, woman's child. This is what you end up with. You end up with a judge like this.
Judges setting low bails on dangerous suspects. It happened after a man was accused of stabbing a handyman to death with a butcher knife in Renton. And then a different judge in the same case expressed empathy for the suspect's family, not the victim. The whole thing has many people upset, including the Renton police chief. This is video from the crime scene showing 20-year-old Kashon Jimerson hitting 65-year-old Michael Gray from behind with a broom handle. The video shows Gray then following him back into the apartment. And that's when detectives say Jimerson pulled out a butcher knife and stabbed Gray in the back, killing him. According to court documents, Jimerson called 911 after the crime and confessed. Judge Michelle Gelson, who you saw there, set his bail at $50,000. And 27 hours after he was taken into custody, he was released without electronic home monitoring. The Renton police chief demanded answers, asking why Judge Gelson granted such a low bail. During Jimerson's court appearance in front of Superior Court Judge Johanna Bender, Jimerson's mom wanted to address the court, asking that the media not show his face in fear of what she called vigilante justice. That's when Judge Bender expressed empathy for Jimerson's family.
This hearing isn't about me, but I will share with you that I often get death threats based on the decisions that I make.
It's not about me, but I, and follow me, my, me, I. Follow how many times she says this, okay?
Which is equally frustrating to me because I'm trying to do my job, and it should not be the responsibility of any member of the public to threaten my life because I am trying to uphold the law. So I am very empathetic to the situation that the family finds themselves in, having experienced it myself. And I understand personally how very frightening and disruptive it is. All the more so if you were also navigating this incredibly traumatic mind in your family. I'm just doing my job. You're dealing with a crisis. There's a huge difference, and one for which I am very empathetic. I will also take this opportunity to editorialize that I hope that the press continues to take seriously their obligation to tell the stories of what happens in our courtroom in a fair and unbiased way, and takes every reasonable editorial action to not stir up public sentiment for revenge.
Well, ultimately, Judge Bender allowed our cameras to show Jimerson's face in court, and she increased his bail to $500,000. But let's talk about those previous decisions. Back in July, we told you Judge Bender set bail at $50,000 for the man accused of shooting a grandmother multiple times at an ATM right in front of her granddaughter. The woman, who only wanted to be called Tina, was outraged with the decision.
I should have the right to have the peace of mind knowing that they're locked up. And I don't have that. I can guarantee you my medical bills far exceed that amount of money.
Then, in February, the accused accomplice in a double murder had his bail dropped by Judge Bender from $1 million to $20,000. Joshua Jones was accused of dumping the
$1 million to $20K? Are you just trying to let them out? I mean, seriously. What are you thinking here? Well, this guy, he appears like he should just be out running around with the general population. Yeah, he's accomplice with dumping a couple of bodies, but yeah, I'm sure they're loved ones. They'll get over it. Yeah, everybody's got more family.
Bodies of Robert Riley and Ashley Williams of Maple Valley. When Williams' family found out about Judge Bender's decision, they were furious.
Nobody is safe, if he's out. And a $20,000 bail is not good enough to protect people.
So in this latest case involving the Renton homicide, Judge Bender did not have a single word to say for the victim or any of the victim's loved ones. Her only comments were for herself and the accused killer and his mom.
That's what we're working with here, folks. Yeah, not special. Not special. But then Bender revealed that she was empathetic, and we watched her be empathetic, basically talking about herself. What'd we count, 13 times? Critical coverage of her long story of soft on crime decisions led to death threats against her. She used it as an opportunity to scold the media. This hearing is not about me. We heard all that. This is next level gaslighting, Jason goes on to say. And it's also just absolute nonsense. Your job is to throw the bad guys in jail, not to let them run around. When you go to the low end of the scale, it tends to, with bail, it tends to allow the guilty to just get out and do their thing, even if they're accused of, and I'm sorry I called it a kitchen knife before. Clearly, that was wrong. It is a butcher knife. It's a butcher knife. Better yet. All right. It's obviously inappropriate and illegal to send death threats to a judge for her poor decisions. Yeah, and we're not condoning that at all. Anybody who does a death threat to somebody else, specifically a judge, governmental employee, cop, that whole kind of thing, they get what they get. And that's fair. And that's all we're asking is for the victims of family members, these victims to have the same type of coverage. So somebody commits a crime and admits to it by a little, then they should be behind bars, period. Full stop. Instead of giving them the opportunity, well, maybe they'll, have a change of mind between now and the, trial for their criminal murder charges. The irony is that those accused of far worse crimes often receive the very sympathy Judge Bender is now seeking from the public when they stand in her courtroom. Why on earth was she even talking to the mom? Who cares what the mom has to say? Don't care. Her kid killed somebody with a butcher knife. And now that person's family will never get to see them again. So could care less what the judge's, her intentions are. And the mother of the kid, hey, I'm sorry about your kid. I'm sorry, your kid made that decision. But he admitted to killing somebody. So therefore he's going to have to stand trial. And that's just how this goes. And judges enabling this kind of nonsense. This is why we have so many Looney Tunes running around in Seattle. The other day, I was watching my son Kieran, who lives in Seattle, who, by the way, has gone through quite a number of just shenanigans in Seattle, had his car ripped off, just a bunch of stuff, got crazy homeless people in his backyard. It's Seattle, he lives in one of the nicest neighborhoods in Seattle, and that's what he's working with. So, he sent me this, this video of these two homeless nut jobs on drugs outside of some guy's window, and they're like sword fighting, like with swords. And this guy is, he's narrating through the window outside. And it's just this crazy thing where you've got people that are whacked out on drugs, got all kinds of charges against them. Maybe they belong in an insane asylum, but the judges aren't holding anybody accountable. And so you've just got these people running around doing just absolute shenanigan after shenanigan after shenanigan. And by that, at times, I mean murdering other human beings. And the judges are just letting them go, right? Bender isn't just doing her job, she's actually failing at it. Her bias is glaring when she goes easy on violent defenders. By framing the criticism as a reaction to public outrage, she's trying to manipulate the media into giving her a free pass. Well, you know what? Here at News for Reasonable People, we don't really do that. You know what we do? We double down and we highlight it because that is what should happen. So, Judge Johanna Bender, is that your name? Yeah. Maybe rethink some of those poor decisions that you've made in the past. And then moving forward, drop the hammer on these people because they deserve it. Yeah. We should do no such thing. If anything, she hasn't been criticized enough for her long history of treating suspects like victims. Then Jason goes on, he's got case after case here of, judges and Johanna Bender lowering the bail from $1 million to $20K. And that was for the rent and dumping the bodies. That was a wild story. Yeah, it's okay. You dump a couple of bodies. It's all good. Next time, put them in a bag and take them to the dump. That'd be better. You know what I mean? It's just absolutely nutty. Here's another one. Joseph Knorr and Megan Smith, a couple from Auburn with manslaughter in the first degree following the death of their 1-year-old son who died from fentanyl and meth intoxication. Medical examiner's office found drug paraphernalia in the boy's intestinal system, meaning he ate it. After a judge initially set bail at $2 million, Judge Bender lowered the bail to $500,000 in electronic home monitoring for Smith. Why? Why would you do that? Why would you give that person the opportunity to have some family member bail them out with, they got a house. All right. You got equity in it. All right. Yeah, we'll do this. You betcha. Why on earth would you present that opportunity? It just makes no sense to me. Leave it at $2 million. Somebody's got to come up with $200K. All right. Then they're not going to go on the run for sure. Make them accountable. There's just no accountability. This is Seattle. And there's no accountability. King County, no accountability. Just, it's the way it is. Bender went easy on 18-year-old Chase Jones, who was accused of crashing into and killing an adult and 3 children after allegedly driving 112 miles an hour through a red light. Jones was previously involved in 3 serious crashes within the previous year. Despite claiming a serious concern, I make fun of that all the time. I have great concern that this is not going to work out the way that we think it is. Really? What gave you that notion? Great concern over the level of really impulsive behavior that's alleged in combination with a very recent history of a pattern of similar behavior, meaning it's probably going to happen again. Bender reduced his bail from $1 million to $100K. Why? Why would you do that? And electronic home monitoring. Nah, lock them up in jail, keep them there so they don't pull the same nonsense on society. She explained her decision by referencing the fact that Jones was injured in the car accident. Don't care. Let him heal in jail. Don't care. Want him off the streets. You think he isn't going to just limp around doing whatever and then more shenanigans? We don't know. I don't want to take that risk. Keep him in jail. $1 million. I say that's good. The more, the better. While Chase Jones sits comfortably at home watching Netflix, the broken bodies of Matilda, Eloise, and Buster, 3 innocent children, lie side by side in fresh graves, never to return home to their families, Chase Wilcox, the father of Eloise and Matilda, told Como News. While Chase Jones shares a meal at home with his loved ones, body of Andrea Hudson lies in a freezer at the King County Medical Examiner's office, awaiting the day that her children, Nolan and Charlotte, will be well enough to attend her funeral. Meanwhile, Judge whatever is just letting people out willy-nilly. Yeah. Oh, but he got in an accident. Don't care. Don't care. If you think there's a high probability the guy's going to reoffend, give him high bail. $1 million, $2 million. Make sure it's out of his reach. Lock him up. Keep him off the streets. That's what we should be doing. But again, this is King County. This is Seattle. We're not going down that road. We're just, oh yeah, justice reform for all. This is going to be the greatest thing ever. And then you wonder, good Lord, why was there another stabbing? Why was there another shooting? Why is there more of this? Why is there more of that? Why do we have such high rates of cars being jacked? I have great concern. All right. That's it for me on this one. This is an example of why Seattle has ongoing what it's got going, because if you don't have enough police, and with the police you do have, the criminals that you're apprehending, if they're just boop, popped right back out on the street to do their thing again, this is a rinse repeat type deal. And you've got really weak judges. High bail, keep them locked up, don't care. That's my thought. All right. Thanks so much for being here. I'll catch up with you in the next one. Bye for now.